You are tuning in to the You Are Loved podcast, where we hope to bring love and kindness to the world.
Welcome to another You Are Loved podcast. We have the amazing Emma McArtor-Cline, who's the administrative assistant for Mary's Giving Fund. She graduated from Anderson University in December 2025 with a Bachelor of Arts in English Literature. She lives in Anderson, South Carolina with her husband, William. Emma has 4 years of nonprofit experience. She's volunteered in local church ministries and with Miriam Foundation has held staff positions at the Miriam Foundation and Mary's Giving Fund. She began working with Mary's Giving Fund in July of 2025 and is Mary's niece. Welcome, Emma. I'm so excited to have you on. When we spoke on the phone, it was a great conversation. And so I'm just glad that you said yes to hopping on the podcast.
Thank you. So grateful to be here.
Yeah. So share a little bit about like what made you decide to start working with Mary's Giving Fund and how you got involved with all that.
Sure. So like I said in my bio, Mary's Giving Fund, I'm Mary's niece. And Mary was my aunt, and she really had a heart for children. And so Mary's Giving Fund was started by my family members. My dad was her brother. And so it was started by my dad and his sister and their dad as well as Mary's widower, Tim. They all kind of started Mary's Giving Fund as a way to honor her, and it was founded in 2020. So I was a little younger then and not really ready to be involved at that point, but I always kind of had it in the back of my head that, hey, this is something my family's doing that's really cool. That's a way to help other people. And then last summer, my dad and uncle had been kind of talking for a little while about getting more help for Mary's Giving Fund, and eventually reached out to me because I'd had some nonprofit experience at that point. As a way to kind of start getting involved with what they're doing. So that was how I kind of got roped into helping out.
Oh, that's awesome. That's exciting. So with that, so it was created to continue Mary's lifelong commitment to helping children thrive. So what does it feel like to carry forward the vision and legacy of someone you loved personally?
I think it's a really good way to preserve someone's memory and to honor kind of the life that they lived, especially since Mary's life, was cut short by cancer. It's a way to kind of continue the impact that she could have had if she continued to live, and even to extend that impact because now so many more people are involved. So it kind of has a bigger stretch as well. And so it's a heavy lift, definitely, in terms of like we're continuing preserving someone's memory, but it's also a blessing to be able to spread that to more people.
Yeah, that's awesome. I shared the nonprofit on my Facebook a week or two ago after we spoke and stuff like that, and grabbed the picture of I think Mary holding a baby on the main website and posted that up there. Yeah, so I just think it's amazing what you guys do and and how you guys give back, and then how you try to multiply that by working with a lot of different organizations and really helping them to get the funding they need to make a wider impact within the communities throughout. So is there specific communities that you like areas of the United States that you guys focus on, or like where do you guys normally invest your time and resources?
Yeah, so we are a national organization, meaning we're willing to help any organization across the entire United States. And part of our plan is to continue expanding focus reaches. Since Mary lived in Florida for a big part of her life, a lot of our organizations are based in Florida. And then we also have a good number in Ohio and the Pittsburgh area, since those were areas that she lived a long time and had a lot of friends and connections in. But we've expanded a lot. I think we're mostly focused on the southern side of the United States right now, but we would love to expand as time goes on to helping organizations all across the country.
That's awesome. Yeah. So are you close to Greenville, South Carolina?
Yeah, I am. Okay. About 45 minutes away.
Okay, nice. My grandfather, my mom's dad lived in Pickens.
Yep.
So when I was a kid, I used to go up there and hang out.
Yeah.
In Pickens, and then living in Atlanta and stuff like that. I had some friends that were like right there. I think it was Wade. South Carolina or something like that, and then
Mm-hmm.
Greenville and all that. And it was like, it's an hour and a half drive outside of Georgia, so it's great.
Yeah.
When you're leaving out of Florida, everything takes forever, but like when you get to the other states, because they're not so long, it's like
Right.
you can get in and out fairly quickly, so that's kind of cool. So all right. So the difference between giving and impact, like, many people donate money, but not every act of giving creates lasting change. In your experience, like what separates like charity from true impact?
Right. So I think one thing that sets Mary's Giving Fund apart in particular, that I can really speak to is, at least right now, all of the donations that people give go directly to impacting children. We have different organizations that volunteer to help us with other needs, that help with like paying for my position, and then also help with like our marketing and any legal needs that we have. So that means that anyone that is giving like via the Mary's Giving Fund website, their donations directly go to impacting children. And I think that that's really special, that they kind of have that promise and guarantee that like what you're giving really goes to the programs that we support.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Hmm.
And so so I'm just going to clarify, just as really for our audience, but so Mary's Giving Fund is an organization that uh, uh, that don't that gets donations for money and stuff like that to help out other nonprofits that are making the impact in the communities across the United States, or right now on the southern United States, right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So our kind of model is we receive those donations, and then programs can apply, or nonprofit organizations can apply to have a program that is funded through Mary's Giving Fund.
Yeah. Okay. That's amazing. Yeah.
Hmm.
And then people can see like the different the other nonprofits and organizations and programs that you guys have funded. I'm assuming based off your website and so forth, right?
Yep, we have all of our programs listed on our website, so you can see them there.
Okay. All right. That's
Hmm.
cool. So there's another lady we had on previously, Dawn, who works for a national nonprofit for up in New York, and it is in the fashion industry. And then they really were designed initially back in like the 80s to help out when there was like an AIDS crisis happening in the
Hmm.
United States, and it was to help raise funds and save lives and all that stuff. But as that subsided, they've created it and transformed into other things. And I was telling her, because she's moving down here to Florida, and and I was like telling her about your guys' organization. I was like, I should introduce you, so when you move into the next phase of her life, because she took that specific chapter, built it, and grew it. And
Right.
then she's amazing. I learned a lot from her in regards to my own company and helping me put some stuff together.
Awesome.
Yeah, so anyway, so when the time is right, I'll introduce her to you, and then if you guys are looking, I mean, because I know she wants to make some additional impacts in other areas,
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
so people like often see the success stories but not the difficult decisions happening behind the scenes. Like, what's something about nonprofit work that most people don't realize?
I think one big thing, especially, so I've worked on both sides of the nonprofit. Mary's Giving Fund is a giving arm, so we give money to other nonprofits, but I also work for an organization called the Miriam Foundation, where we're a nonprofit that's like directly doing a mission. And so
Mm-hmm.
I've seen both sides of like what the application process looks like when you're looking for funding. And so I know that from someone that's applying for funding side, it's really hard when you face that rejection, and it can feel like, why are we not worthy of like receiving funds, or why didn't this work out? But also, having now, through Mary's Giving Fund, been able to see our side of it, it's not always as easy a decision as you get funding and you don't. There's a lot of care that goes into making those decisions,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of thought that goes into it too. And like, we would love to obviously fund every organization that applies, but we just can't do that because we don't have the resources for it, or not everything is the right fit for what we're particularly doing.
Mm-hmm.
It might be a better fit for another organization or fund. It just doesn't align necessarily with what we're doing. But that's still a hard thing to have to send a rejection letter, because
Mm-hmm.
these are still organizations that are doing worthwhile work. It's just that maybe you guys don't line up right
Yeah.
at that time.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, and it's like if you have specific purposes and your brand, and because I'm sure you guys have donations and stuff like that, so you have to stay true to the causes that people are saying, hey, if I give $20, $100, $500, then I need to know that this is going to be protected or be used for what I'm donating this money for, right?
Right.
So
Exactly.
yeah, so that's important. And so now, if Mary's Giving Fund could eliminate one challenge facing children tomorrow, what would you choose and why?
Could you ask that question again? I think I missed part of it. Sorry.
Oh, sure. Yeah. If Mary's Giving Fund could eliminate one challenge facing children tomorrow, what would you choose? What would you choose and why?
I think our big focus is on children that are underserved, and so I think that kind of implies that one of our biggest goals is to kind of create equal opportunity for all children. So I think the biggest kind of obstacle that we would try and eliminate for children is that there wouldn't be children coming from underserved communities because all communities would have access to equal resources, have all of like good schools, have good health and wellness opportunities available, all of that available to them. So it's kind of like a cop out answer to say we'd fix everything for them. But really, it's just when you come from a community that's better served, you automatically have access to all of those resources because they're available for you.
Yeah. It's amazing, like, how just based on different communities, what kind of access you get to foods and the
Right.
types of foods and prices of items and stuff like that. Like, my uncle worked at a large grocery store chain, and one that was had a higher percentage of food stamps. Their food was a little bit more expensive, and that was just because they knew people had this alleged free money, and
Right.
was gonna spend it on the items. Right? I just think
Yeah.
it's like, which really kind of, not kind of, it does, it ticks me off because I'm like, okay, people are already limited on their resources, and now you're limiting the amount of food that they can get because you're being greedy based off the volume. Now,
Right.
probably part of it has to cover theft costs, but that's throughout all the major grocery store chains. And then I noticed another thing is like in uh, poorer communities, like gas stations, gas is more expensive. I'd be like,
Right.
I don't understand this. Why you're not serving your community at that point? You're taking advantage of your community,
Right.
right? Because like you're the only gas station here, and you're not competitive to even what's next to the highway, where it's usually a little bit higher because you're jumping right off the highway, you know?
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then like one other thing is like, so my dad lives in Alabama in the middle of nowhere, and it's very rural community. It's like 20 minutes to the local grocery store. But if we want to get to, which is great that they have, but it's just completely different than like when we go another 15-20 minutes to go to Publix, right?
Right.
And in Alabama, and it's like the amount of food, like I can get some really good turkey bacon at Publix. I can get fresh or organic food and all that, rather than
Right.
at the grocery store where they kind of get the leftovers of what everyone else is received ahead of time, you know?
Yeah.
So it's just that. So that's what I mean by like, it's just like the differences in the communities. And it's like, it'd be, if everybody could have access to similar stuff. I don't know that it's
Exactly.
possible, but it would be amazing. So,
Yeah.
okay. And if children who benefit from the Mary's Giving Fund would speak to Mary today, what do you think they would want her to know?
I have a really special story about this actually, because the other organization that I work for, Miriam Foundation, we've received help from Mary's Giving Fund to start a care closet, and I've gotten to actually talk with like those girls directly about how that feels to have someone care for you. And the thing that really struck them was just that somebody would care to give like time and money and resources to them, even though they don't know their individual stories or their individual circumstances. Just being able to know that they're cared for and that they're loved. It goes beyond just like you're receiving this physical item. It's like somebody cares that I feel good when I go to school, you know? And so I think
Mm,
they would say like thank you to Mary for helping people see that it's important that all kids feel loved and feel that their needs are met, for them to succeed.
No, that I love that. I love that. So what can you share a little bit more about the Caring Closet and the Miriam's Foundation?
Yeah, so the Miriam Foundation is in Fountain Inn, South Carolina, which is pretty close to Greenville and Simpsonville area. And we have Mary's Care Closet there, and that is a resource closet that has all kinds of personal hygiene items like toothbrushes and toothpaste, hair care items, and then menstrual products as well, because we serve girls between fourth and 12th grade, so they have all that wide range of different needs. And so throughout the year, girls get bags from Mary's Care Closet as part of our hygiene lessons that are filled with those items, but then they also have access to the resource closet whenever they need it. So if they're out of something, they can go and get those items. And it just makes sure that they have what they need hygiene wise and that they're cared for. Because we feel like it really helps children when they're able to go to school feeling well and having everything that they need. That really helps them to do their best.
Oh, I love that. I love that. And then if someone wanted to donate items to that, how would they do that?
So we actually don't need people to necessarily donate items through that because it's given through Mary's Giving Fund. So the way that we would kind of like ask them to donate items is just donating to Mary's Giving Fund fiscally so that they can continue to support that closet year after year so that we can
Okay.
refill it.
Nice. And so if someone saw like on the Mary's Giving Fund website and saw like a specific nonprofit that that you guys donate to, can they donate money towards specific nonprofits, or is it just like an all general, like how does that work?
So if they wanted to donate money to a specific nonprofit, they could go to those nonprofits' websites. If it's not posted on the website, they can absolutely ask us for their contact
I guess
information if
that
they
would make
want
more
to,
sense. Yeah.
yeah, connect. They can kind of go that way. But yeah,
Okay. Yeah, I
yeah,
guess that would make more sense. Or what about if they wanted a well, I guess even if they wanted a portion of it to go to that specific nonprofit, they could just split up their own donations. So,
yeah.
okay, yeah, I guess that makes sense. Yeah, because it's like, yeah, that was silly.
No, it's okay. I understand because there's some, like, fundraisers that work for that, like the BMW charity thing where you can, like, select donate to this charity when you're doing that. So that it does make sense what you're asking.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, but BMW sometimes can have a larger,
right.
and then it's like, "Oh, okay, I'd love to do that." And it's kind of, like on a back end type of thing. "Oh, this one sounds really good. Let me here go towards, push a little bit towards that." So, and so Emma, like what do you hope your own legacy of service will look like someday?
For Mary's Giving Fund or just in general?
In general, for you and for the
Um,
work that you do with all these nonprofits and your
sure.
family, whatever.
Sure. I think for me, I have kind of noticed that I tend to lean towards doing more work that's oriented at helping children, and I've always really cared for children. That's something that my family in general like really values. I come from a big family. I have four younger sisters, and so I've seen how much like your adolescence and your growing up contributes to the way that you see the world when you get older. And so I think I would hope to help children have positive lives and positive experiences while they're growing up so that they have a more positive mindset going into the world. I feel like if you grow up and all you're getting when you're growing up is like, this is really hard, everything really stinks, like the world is against me, that's kind of the mentality that you take going into adulthood. And that can cause a lot of problems
Mm.
and just be really hard for you when you become an adult because you're going to see everything as a challenge rather than an opportunity. And so I think I'd really want to help kids see that there is good in the world and that there is hope for them so that they could go into adulthood knowing like there's goodness and there's opportunity out there for me. I just need to be willing to see that over all of the hard things.
No, I love that. I think that's one of the things, not, but that's one of the things that I was seeing, like when I first created You Are Loved, and during the pandemic and stuff like that, as I just saw people that would just seem so hopeless and just wanted to give them hope, and so through that we've transitioned from women to children in general, and created the programs around that. But it was really just my biggest thing is I just didn't want them to carry a lot of the challenges that they've had, and just show that they're
Right.
overcomers and they have hope, and that stuff's only temporary, and and it's just going to make them stronger, move on, and not carry all the negative into adulthood. and live with
Exactly.
that, and then have to go through therapy at like 50 to figure their lives out, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
So, but yeah. So, one last question that I have, Emma, is if every person listening today decided to make one small investment in a child, family, or their community this week, what do you think could happen over the next decade?
I think we would just see a generation of kids that go back and do that as well. I think the
Mm,
biggest thing that I've seen from people that give is that they create other people that give and then are willing to give. Because a lot of the time when we're poured into, there's a trickle down effect where then you want to become somebody that pours out to other people. So I think it really just creates like this ripple of change among communities. Not only are you creating brighter communities and brighter leaders and brighter futures because you've invested in the next generation, but then they're going to continue to create those kinds of communities. And that creates a more sustainable way for those communities to exist.
yeah, yeah. There's a guy that I saw on, I think I saw him on a Facebook reel or something like that. But he does a lot of it here in Florida. So he goes around and he picks up homeless people and asks them if they want to get clean.
Yeah.
And then he creates a scholarship for them and gets them into a rehab facility. And then after they're done with that, he gets them into like another follow-up facility and then helps to get them funds. It goes on a card. They don't get cash for it. And then that way they can at least get sustainable living and doing all that. And I was like, I was thinking about like all these other ways that people have tried to battle homelessness and drugs and like these different things. But I was like, gosh, if we had more people doing that,
Right.
then that's really a clean way to create up the homelessness, get people who want to get clean, and it's because when you were talking about that, like with the communities and people giving, a lot of times it's a mindset as well, right? Where a lot of times people are just so afraid to let go of what they have, that they're afraid to like give. But it's like we can't receive if we're not open to giving.
Right. Yeah. And it's not just like a financial like thing either. Like giving is also giving your time and being willing to say like, hey, this person is worth sacrificing an afternoon for, or this person is worth sacrificing a dinner like for, so that I can go spend time with them and show them that they're loved. It's more than just giving money, because it's easy, to write a check that takes 5 seconds, and then it's like it goes, and then the people that do the work can do the work. But it's like we can all do the work to uplift communities and to smile at people and to show people that they're loved and cared for.
Yeah. Yep. So, and then I think that if they do donate a lot of their time to different places, and then that will change their heart because they have an opportunity to see that they may not be the only ones struggling, and then it's helping to build. And then I think there was that one movie where the boy, he raised money for something. Then he just said and he was dying or something like that. And his wish was that it would create that ripple effect that you were talking about. So,
yeah.
So anyhow, Emma, how can people donate to the nonprofit? And is there any last thing you'd like to share?
So you can donate via our website at marysgivingfund.org. We have Venmo and PayPal options, I believe, available on our website. And then our address is also available if you want to write a physical check. That's on our website at the bottom as well. And I would just leave you guys with saying thank you for listening and wanting to be uplifters of community. If you're taking the time to listen, you obviously really care about helping children in your community and just helping people in your community. And so be somebody that pours out so that you create other people that pour out.
Love that. Thank you so much, Emma. And I hope you have an amazing day. We'll talk soon.
Sure. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Everyone, thank you so much for another You Are Loved podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. Please donate to Mary's Giving Fund. They do a lot of amazing things for that. And don't forget to check out our website at youareloved.store. And no, we should have a new podcast coming out every Monday. But like and subscribe to our page. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of You Are Loved. If you have any topic ideas or would like to be a guest on the show, please hit us up on Instagram at youareloved.store.